Yeah, morning everybody. It wouldn't be a French trip without doing a bit of wall work and pointing, and this trip is no exception. This is the door to the new bedroom, and this is the door to the gîte. And the one thing I have to pass every time is this bit of wall here that has the crack in it. I'm not too worried about the crack because this is a separate wall, it's solid, and that's sort of keyed into that wall, and that side's okay. But obviously at some point over the last 200 years there's been a bit of subsidence and it's moved a slight bit, but it all seems pretty solid. So what I want to do is I want to repoint this side at least of the door, and also fill in the gaps at the top. The joists, for the want of a better word, going down don't actually rest on this side of the wall, they rest on the other side of the wall, but it would just be nice to have a neat finish across the top. So I'm going to start at the top and work my way down slowly and see how it goes. I may have to get so far, stop, and then do the bottom and work back up again. I'll just see what happens when I start to remove all the old mortar, soil, everything else that they've thrown in there. So that's today's little mission. So all of this will be done in a lime mix to match in with everything else, and you know the procedure as well as I do. Clean it out, wet it, fill it, brush it back. Sounds easy, but it's at least I haven't got to take any render off this time, which is what did my hands in last time. So yeah, let's get on with it. Talk to you soon. Well, that's made me sweat a bit. I don't know if it's because of the heat or because I've realised just how loose these stones are. So really, you know, the sooner I can get this done, the better, to make the wall a lot more secure. So I've cleaned it out. I've gone quite deep as a day ago, and I've found some stones to go at the top. As I say, nothing's resting on this front part of the wall, it's all on the back. So it's more to make it look better, get rid of some of the gaps and what have you. So yes, I've given it a soak. I'm now going to go and do a mix, come back and fill it, and I think then what I'll do is I'll start at the bottom and start to work my way up towards it, so this has time to set a little bit as well. Shouldn't be too bad, probably 2 or 3 hours. We can have lunch in between as well. So yeah, I'll get this all in, so this is all nice and secure, and then start to work from the bottom. Okay, if this starts to move, give me a shout, okay, and run. See you in a short while. Well, that's the first dodgy bit done, and it was in a pretty poor state, so I think it's best I leave that to go off. not mess around with it, and definitely not do any work below it, because I think the vibration won't help, to say the least. So I'm just going to go and have a drink. It's quite warm today, and then I'm going to start at the bottom and probably come up a metre or something like that. When this is finished, those who have seen me do this before may notice it's a slightly different colour. That's because I'm using yellow sand in here, where before I've always used white sand. The reason being, one, it's nice to have a bit of a change, and two, I've got loads of bags of yellow sand which I bought by mistake, so I might as well use them, and that's really the real reason. So yeah, it will be slightly different in colour because it doesn't dry as dark as you can see here. It dries a lot lighter. But yeah, I'm going to go and have a drink, and then I'll come back and continue down at the bottom. As I say, I would like to get all this section done this weekend. Okay, see you later. Well, it's about 8:30. The light's not very good in here, obviously, because there's only the one window, but it's time to brush the mortar off the wall. I'm then going to give it a couple of days to dry before I photograph it and show you what it looks like. As I say, it is a bit dark, and it takes 2 or 3 days to dry out to give the full effect. Even now it looks better than it did before. So yeah, catch you in a minute. Yeah, afternoon everybody. Well, it's a little bit warm out there today, so warm that I was working out there filming and the camera just overheated and switched off. So I decided to come inside. It's still warm, but it's a little bit cooler than it is out there, and get on with another job that me and Suze have been discussing for a while. This is the ensuite wall, and we've decided that we're going to wallpaper it. We just felt when we looked at everything and looked at the video of the completed room, it could just do with a little something. So we came up with this idea that we would wallpaper it. We managed to find the wallpaper that we liked, and that's my job for this afternoon. So hope you like it, and if at the end of the day we don't, we'll just take it off and repaint it. But I think it'll look really nice against everything else. So yeah, let's get on with it. Cheers.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel,
Yeah, afternoon everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed the vid. And to finish off, we're going to have a walk around the village. And we've had this request a number of times on different videos. When we went to Vouvant, when we even did the tip run, and before that, if we would do a video of us walking around the village and showing people just what it's like. So that's what we're going to do this afternoon, and hope you enjoy it. Next week we have a really special video coming out. It's the bedroom reveal. It's all finished, and the wallpaper that we put on was the last job to do. So next week it will be a really interesting video. So it's not just the bedroom reveal, there's a lot of stuff going off before that as well, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. So yeah, big thank you to everyone, all the new subscribers, all of you that leave comments on a regular basis and give us a like, a thumbs up. It is really appreciated. And also thank you to everybody who's made a donation in some description, either directly to us via PayPal or through Amazon, where we've been able to buy equipment and whatever you to carry on the work. So yeah, we're going to have a walk round. I'm going to do a voiceover on this because if there's any traffic about it, it's the noise in the background, and I just hope you enjoy it. So leave a comment below, and we will see you next week for the big reveal. Okay everybody, thanks very much. Cheers. Okay, so here we go. One of the most common questions we always get asked is whereabouts is the village in France? And as you can see where the marker is, we're on the west coast, about 30 minutes in from the nearest beach, and also about 30 minutes north of La Rochelle. We're actually in the Vendée, and La Rochelle is in the Charente-Maritime, but the house is situated about 3 miles from the borderline. So yeah, La Rochelle is easily accessible from where we live. Here's a picture of the village. It covers about 9.5 square kilometres, and that includes some farmland that comes into the boundary, and we're situated right in the middle. So we'll start off by taking the long walk to the boulangerie, and it's probably about 30 steps. Here it is on the right, the boulangerie and patisserie. Go there in the morning to buy bread and a few cakes. It's situated in the marketplace. So I'll come back to these buildings in a short while, but if we stand here, this is the centre of the village, and if I stand here and spin round, you can see that we're very, very close to the centre. There's my car sticking out of the driveway a little bit. So yeah, if we walk into the marketplace, on our right we have the War Memorial. Straight in front of us is the Mayor's office. Now in the summertime, every other week, I think it's every other Friday, they close the roads off and hold a village market night, as they call it, and there's entertainment and food, plenty of drink and dancing, really good family atmosphere. So yeah, we've been to a few of these, and we're made very welcome. So in front of us we have the Salle des Fêtes village hall, and at one time, as you can see here, the War Memorial was a lot closer to it than it is now. Well, let's have a walk round the back, see what we've got there. So the building we have in front of us is the old people's home, and I always think that whoever designed this had a cruel sense of humour, because you can imagine people sat in that building over there looking out of the window, and they have a great view of the village cemetery. So yeah, not the best view really, even though the cemetery is well kept and looked after, as most cemeteries are, it seems, in France. So here we are back in the marketplace, and we can see next to the bar restaurant as it is now, there used to be a house where now we have a village shop. And the bar restaurant used to be, going back some time, a hotel. My house is behind that tree on the right hand side. And I often wonder when I look at this photograph if any of these people actually lived in my house. So making our way down the road again. We're about 150 metres from the house now. On the right we have the front entrance to the old people's home. And opposite we have a little museum. You often see exhibitions in there and photographs of how the village used to be. And it's also used by local arts and crafts people. Somebody here who was making cushions and upholstery items. Yeah, so the house on the left has a couple of interesting little features. Above the door they have a coat of arms, but over to the right of the door they have a horse's head with a ring on it, where you would obviously at some point have tied your horse to. I suppose a modern equivalent would be plugging your electric car in nowadays. I also think this house is quite nice looking. There's no two houses the same in the whole of the village. Everyone is different. At the end of the road we have to our left the bibliothèque, the village library, which was refurbished probably a couple of years ago. Nice looking building. And the road is called the Rue the 8th of May 1945, which was the day Charles de Gaulle announced that the war was over. Before that it was a route principale. But if we take a left here and immediately left again, we are walking down the road at the rear of the house. You can see there's a basketball court on the right hand side. This is the rear of the school, the playground area. And this field is where the donkey lives. And there's a church with my house to the left. So carrying on down the road, we'll take a right, which eventually will take us to a picnic site and a campsite. One or two nice looking houses down here as well. And if you fancy a bit of a doer-upper, here's a nice little project. I think it needs new windows and a roof and one or two little bits and pieces doing it, but it's almost ready to go. And then behind that is the picnic area, the village, where there are benches and tables. And there's also like an insect farm or whatever. I don't know what you call these things, but it's like where all the insects and little creepy crawlies go. The canal is quite wide just here. It's not a canal in the same sense as we have them in England and elsewhere. And no boats go on here. The bridges are very low. You do see people fishing. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably get rowing boats on there, but nothing larger than that really. Yeah, so when we come out the other end of the picnic area, we've got the village pond, which is quite a nice little scene really. We never knew this was here until we did this walk. Yeah, I have walked past it many times, but never actually noticed it. And just a little bit further down, on the opposite side of the road, is a second picnic area. There's this bridge across the canal where you can do country walks, etc. Very rural, and this is the same scene some time ago. So yeah, I'll have to have a walk down here at some point in the future. Thought you might be interested in seeing this little building. This is the one of the village wells, obviously no longer in use, but you see these dotted about all over the place, sometimes in the middle of nowhere. So we're back on the main road, and the road to the right is where I go to Brico Depot and the supermarkets, etc. And here we have the church. Quite an historic building. Been a church here, I've been told, since Viking times. Now it's not being used at the moment, or hasn't been used since I bought the house about 3 years ago. It's had a renovation project going on. I wonder what was going off here in the church. Some sort of celebration. So these three windows, stained glass windows that we see in front of us, are the three windows that look out over the garden. You can't see very clearly what's on them at the moment. But at night time, when the church is lit, this is the view we get in the garden of the stained glass. This is the centre one. So yeah, this is the right-hand side tower from the garden. And obviously on the other side of the church, this is the one on the left. Beautiful roof structure. And on the other side of that wall, only 8 inches away, is the house. So I think these numbers must have represented family pews. You know, each family had its own pew. So okay, let's go back outside. So this is looking at the church from the corner. You can see my house behind those tall trees. And I have one or two old photographs here. You know, it makes me smile seeing the cattle going up through the street. The building on the left used to be a shop, and I believe may have been a petrol station as well at some point. But walking down the road that I would take to the DIY centre, if I spin round here, and this scene can be seen on a very old photograph as well. But look at the difference in the road to how it looks now. Probably just horse and carts going up there then. Okay, so crossing the road again, and we're going to take a left here and left again, and that will bring us back to where the cemetery is. So here we are back at the cemetery, and down this little road here to the right is an alleyway, and that will take us back towards the church. So yeah, there's about 750 people at the moment live in the village. At one time there was something like 1800, and it makes you wonder where they all lived. And it covers an area of about 9.5 square kilometres, and that includes farmland as well that's included into the village. So here we are back at the church, and if we turn right, you'll see my house straight in front of us. So I hope you enjoyed that tour of the village. Not the biggest village in the world, but we absolutely love it. And if you did enjoy it, please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and maybe consider subscribing. We shall see you on the next one next week, and remember, it's the big bedroom reveal. Thanks everybody, take care.